22 Powerful Tools to Transform Your Fear into Happiness, Peace, Inspiration. With free giveaway rights. Fear is undoubtedly one of the strongest and most influential emotional responses we have, and it can act as both a protective and destructive force depending on the situation. Obviously, fear can help us avoid dangerous situations, triggering the fight or flight response when we feel threatened. Unfortunately, this same response can also be triggered when no real threat exists. We simply find ourselves feeling overwhelmed and anxious even when we know logically that no harm will come to us. For many of us, fear can become a serious hindrance in our lives, preventing us from getting a better job, meeting eligible life partners, seeking medical care, or even venturing outside our homes in severe cases. Fear is one of the most common reasons that people hold back on living the life of their dreams. Even if they intensely want to create better circumstances, they may struggle with an overwhelming fear of failure, so they refuse to take risks because they may have to endure unpleasant outcomes. In these cases, the risk of failure seems to outweigh the benefits of success, so they hold back and do nothing. Fear of success can be a powerful hindrance as well, making people feel stressed and overwhelmed with the added responsibilities that would probably come with greater success. They may fear not being able to handle those responsibilities, or worry that they'd feel pressured to keep attaining the same level of success in the future. These fears are often enough to cause people to sabotage their own efforts, even when they sincerely want to become more successful. Either way, fear is strong enough to paralyze most of us whether the things we fear are real or imagined. Fear and love cannot coexist by nature. Fear and love act in conflicting ways in our lives. Fear is restrictive, repressive and limiting. Love is expressive, abundant and free-flowing. Fear contracts, love expands. Fear retreats, love forges new pathways. Fear is closed off and stagnant, love is open and vibrant. Because of the reflective nature of our universe, the mindset you most often hold will be mirrored in your every experience and in every person you encounter. When you live your life from a mindset of fear, you are bound to see that same quality of stagnation and repression everywhere. Your opportunities will seem smaller or more restrictive or even non-existent. The people you interact with daily will probably seem more reserved, less generous, and less caring. Even your work will seem repressed, perhaps boring or unfulfilling, and your income may shrink in proportion too. On the other hand, when you begin living your life from a mindset of love, everything around you seems effusive and joyful. The people you meet seem warmer, kinder and jovial. Opportunities come rushing forward to meet you, rather than you having to chase after them, and your work will probably seem more fulfilling and enjoyable, not to mention more profitable. Contrary to popular belief, you do not need to be highly spiritual or enlightened to live from love rather than fear. All it takes is a simple shift in mindset to create big changes in your outer world. The following article shares a very simple and effective way to shift from fear to love instantaneously. Worry and love cannot occupy the same space. The Three Universal Fears. In his book, The Divine Matrix, author Gregg Braden writes, "The root of our negative experiences may be reduced to one of three universal fears, or a combination of them: abandonment, low self-worth, or lack of trust." When you think about it, all of the fearful responses you have in life probably correspond to one or more of these three universal fears. You may fear being alone, being rejected, or not being good enough. You may have a difficult time trusting other people, the universe, or your own strengths and abilities. The good news is that fearful thought patterns like these are simply habits that we are taught as children or develop on our own in adulthood. And like all habits, they can be changed with just a little bit of determined effort. In the first 3 chapters of this book you'll learn how these 3 universal fears affect our lives through our personal fears, collective fears and consciousness. Then in Chapter 4 you will discover 20 simple techniques that can help you to transform your fear into more empowering feelings. These methods may be simple, but don't be fooled into thinking they can possibly work, because they are immensely powerful if you give them a fair chance. Some of these methods may take time and consistent effort to work best, but others can offer relief within a few minutes. Feel free to pick and choose the ones you think will work best for you, and you may also feel inspired to personalize them. Remember that the whole point of these exercises is to help you feel better, to transform your fear and anxiety into feelings of peacefulness, joy, love, contentment, confidence, or any other positive emotion you would like to feel. Therefore, there are no right or wrong ways to use these methods. Try them in any way that feels right to you, or even use them as a jumping-off point to create your own effective techniques. Finally, in Chapter 5, you'll learn how the new Brave Heart system can help you. Important throughout this ebook, you'll also find many links to free audios, articles, teleseminars and videos situated on our Evolution Design website. Please take the time to visit these links and you'll discover many more ways you can transform your fear into happiness, peace and inspiration. Free giveaway rights. If you know any friends or family members who might also benefit from this ebook, please email them all a copy of the PDF. Let's work together to make this a world of courage, love and happiness. Thank you once again to all our Evolution readers who made this ebook possible. Love and peace, Ian, Cindy, Phil, Jeff and the Evolution team. www.tramindpowersecrets.com, www.evolutiondesign.com. PS. After you've had the chance to go through this ebook, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Click here to leave your feedback. PPS. Affiliates. Click here for branding details. Page 4. Special offer: Mind Power research team makes world-first discoveries. They discovered how to attract luck, how to cure their mind and body while sleeping by pre-programming their dreams, how to attract new partners with their minds. They even found out ways of beating the casinos. Plus much more. Page. Mind Surge, the Consciousness Revolution, value $29.95. Get it today and discover what forces required change your psychic reality into a physical reality, plus the complete dream programming technique revealed for free for the very first time. How to improve your life while sleeping, how you can heal people across the world with the power of your mind, and remote influencing. Comes with a remote influencing exercise you can try. How matter and antimatter create our physical world, an E-Prime exercise to increase your brain power, what the dream world is made of, and how it is possible to have shared dreams while our body appears to age, and much more. The Brave Heart system using advanced brainwave entrainment, NLP, sound medicine, dream programming, conditioned responses, hypnosis, energy healing, affirmations, sacred geometry and meditation. These powerful audios, with comprehensive guide, will help you live free from fear. The easy way. Currently included as a free bonus in the Best Mind Power offer. Click here for more details. Page 6. Chapter 1: Personal Fears. Part 1. Why fear limits your life potential. Have you ever felt like fear was preventing you from reaching your full potential in life? If so, you are certainly not alone, because fear is one of the biggest obstacles that many people face when trying to create better life circumstances. Below are some of the most common ways that fear can hold you back. Fear can prevent you from making positive changes. Sometimes fear can make even the smallest changes seem extremely uncomfortable. For example, you may be deeply dissatisfied with your job, but feel nervous or uncertain about finding and applying for a better one. Or you may have always dreamed of buying your own home but worried that the responsibility would be too much to handle. Fear can prevent you from breaking destructive habits. We all know that smoking, poor dietary choices, excessive alcohol and a sedentary lifestyle are a recipe for health problems, but we often gravitate toward these habits because they help numb our anxious or fearful feelings. If you have ever tried to break a bad habit like this, you know how stressful it can be, because suddenly you are filled with anxiety and you don't know how to handle it except to run back to your pacifiers, the very habits you are trying to break. Fear can prevent you from taking risks. Many of us shy away from risk because we fear negative consequences. For example, you may hesitate to invest your money because you fear losing it, or avoid starting a new relationship because you were so hurt by the last one. What most of us fail to realize is that risk can also bring great rewards. Avoiding risk may help us avoid negative possibilities, but we also miss the excitement and joy that come from positive outcomes. Page 7. Fear can prevent you from pursuing your goals. Have you ever dreamed of doing something great but were never able to push yourself to do it? Perhaps you dreamed of being a stand-up comedian but dreaded the thought of public speaking, or you desperately wanted to be a best-selling author but were too afraid to pen that novel lurking inside of you. Fear can prevent you from expanding your life. Social anxiety is another common way that fear can limit your potential. It may prevent you from attending networking functions so your career or business can't grow properly, or you may avoid taking that much-needed vacation to relax and explore other cultures because you fear flying or being on a cruise ship. How to stop fear from limiting your potential? It's important to note that all of these fears are most often groundless. They are merely a perception that things could go wrong, but that doesn't mean they will. Rather than trying to force your way through the fear, you may find it easier to explore the many ways that fear can be effectively released from your mind, emotions, and body. When you know how to release the fear, you simply handle it as you would any minor obstacle and then continue on your way to creating the best life you possibly can. Part 2. Some common fears that could be hiding in your mind. Fear of dying, probably most people's number one fear. So here's something to think about. This self, your ego, possesses some terrifying information. It knows that if it's lucky, it's destined to grow old, get sick, and lose everything that it's grown to love. Then it will die. This is a shortened version of what the world has offered you, which probably leaves you mystified and flabbergasted at the absurdity of this thing we call life. Into this bleak picture, which inspires fear and even terror, I'd like to introduce a concept that will eliminate the terror. I want you to know that you needn't subscribe to the idea that you are only this collection of bones and tissues, destined to be annihilated in an aging process. You've emerged from a universal field of creation that I've been calling intention. Life itself is eternal, and you spring from this infinite no-thing called life. Page 8. Therefore we must conclude that life, in terms of our body and all its achievements and possessions, which without exception begins and ends in dust, isn't life itself. Grasping life's true essence could radically change your life for the better. This shift towards seeing yourself as an infinite spiritual being having a human experience, rather than the reverse, that is, a human having an occasional spiritual experience, is loaded with fear for most people. I urge you to look at those fears and face them directly right now. The result will be a permanent connection to the abundance and receptivity of the universal source that intends all of creation into temporary form. Taken from The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Other common fears: fear of failure. If you have ever held back on a goal or avoided taking action that would lead to a positive outcome, you may have been fearful that you might fail. Fear of failure can be subtle because our minds can come up with endless excuses why it's not a good time to take a risk right now, or how the odds don't seem to be in our favor, and so on. Fear of success. It's hard to believe that anyone could be afraid of success. Isn't success usually a good thing? But it's far more common than you might believe. Most often it's not the success itself that people fear, but rather all of the responsibilities and uncertainties that come along with success. If you worry that you won't be able to handle these things, you will resist putting yourself in a position where you would have to face them. Fear of rejection. Fear of rejection is usually related to low self-esteem, but may show up in subtle ways. You may lash out at others when a possible rejection is imminent, sabotage relationships so you can be the one who rejects the other person instead of them rejecting you, or you may simply withdraw from social interaction to avoid the possibility of being rejected at all. Fear of not being good enough. This is another fear that is connected to self-esteem, and it often affects everything you do in life. You may avoid making changes to improve your life, settle for a dissatisfying job that pays less money than you are capable of earning, or continuously sabotage your goals. If you don't believe you deserve to have better life circumstances, you won't allow yourself to create them. Page 9. Part 3. America's Top 10 Fears/Phobias 1. Snakes, 51% 2. Speaking in public, 40% 3. Heights, 36% 4. Being closed in a small space, 34% 5. Spiders and insects, 27% 6. Needles and getting shots, 21% 7. Mice, 20% 8. Flying on a plane, 18% 9. Dogs, 11% 9. Thunder and lightning, 11% 9. Crowds, 11% 10. Going to the doctor, 9%. Source Gallup poll, February 18 to 21, 2001, 1,016 respondents, plus or, 3%. Page 10. Chapter 2 Collective Fears. Part 1 Collective Fears and How They Are Fed to You. Most of us have a set of unique fears that relate to our own lives, like concerns about loved ones, financial worries and so on. But there are also many universal fears, or perhaps you might call them collective fears, that are communicated to us through our environment. These fears often relate to situations and events that leave us feeling vulnerable and defenseless, such as worldwide pandemics and vaccines, terrorist attacks, economic and financial crises, and so on. Not only do we see and hear constant references to these frightening scenarios in the media and from the people around us, the energy of collective fears also seeps into the very fabric of our reality, the quantum field, and continues to resonate around and within us. Since we are all connected to the collective consciousness, we can actually absorb this fear energy as we go about our daily lives, even if we don't pay attention to the media hype and mass hysteria. In other words, if society's desire was to manipulate and control people by keeping them suppressed in a low vibratory state of fear, this can affect everyone. Have you ever felt nervous, edgy, tense, or vulnerable for no apparent reason? Even when everything in your own life was going fine, you may still have been affected by these collective fears and felt uncomfortable as a result. And to make it worse, the moment you begin focusing on these fearful feelings, the more you begin to magnify the collective fear energy without even knowing it. Page 11. Part 2 Reducing the Impact of Collective Fears. It's not easy to avoid absorbing these fearful messages, especially when you seem to be surrounded by endless examples of them every day. However, there are a few things you can do to minimize the impact they have on your life. An obvious first step is to limit your exposure to news broadcasts, especially when they always seem to pertain to frightening events that are beyond your control. Focusing on this force-fed fear programming only makes you feel more vulnerable and adds to the energy of the collective fear. Certainly you can stay informed about world events, but it is advisable to seek independent, unbiased news sources on the internet, and then immediately start shifting your focus to something less fearsome. Empower yourself by remembering that most of the things you fear will never come to pass. In fact, when you remember that giving your attention to anything only makes it seem bigger and more intimidating, you can surely see the wisdom in being more discerning about the things you think about. Deliberately focusing more on positive things will help override the negative input you receive each day too. When you take greater control of your focus and place it decisively upon the creation of a joyful and positive reality, you contribute that same energy to the quantum field. This helps minimize some of the fearful energy being contributed by others around the world. It's true that there are many horrible, scary things to worry about, but there are equally as many wonderful, joyful things to ponder. Spend time each day thinking about the people you love, happy memories, and the great experiences that may be waiting just around the corner for you. It may not make the scary possibilities go away completely, but it will lighten your mood, leave you feeling happier and less fearful. Page 12. Chapter 3 Consciousness and Fear. Consciousness and fear. Once the fear of death is transcended, life becomes a transformed experience because that particular fear underlies all others. Few people know what it is to live without fear. But beyond fear lies joy, as the meaning and purpose of existence becomes transparent. David Hawkins. Power versus Force. Fear runs much of the world. Fear runs much of the world, spurring on endless activity. Fear of enemies, of old age or death, of rejection, and a multitude of social fears are the basic motivators in most people's lives. From the viewpoint of this level, the world looks hazardous, full of traps and threats. Fear is the favorite official tool for control by oppressive totalitarian agencies. The proliferation of fears is as limitless as the human imagination. Once fear is one's focus, the endless worrisome events of the world feed it. Fearful thinking can balloon into paranoia or generate neurotic defensive structures and, because it's contagious, become a dominant social trend. David Hawkins in Power vs. Force. In his book Power vs. Force, David Hawkins calibrates people's emotions from levels 20 up to 1000. 20 being shame, which is perilously proximate to death. It's destructive to emotional and psychological health, and makes us prone to physical illness. At the other end of the scale at 700-1000 is enlightenment. This is the level of the great ones such as Krishna, Buddha and Jesus. It is the peak of the evolutionary consciousness in the human realm. All levels, which could be classed as vibration levels, below 200 are said to be energy draining, and below integrity. These vary from guilt, 30, grief, 75, fear, 100, desire, 125, anger, 150, up to pride, 175. People feel positive as they reach pride level. However, pride feels good only in contrast to the lower levels. Pride is defensive and vulnerable because it's dependent upon external conditions, without which it can suddenly revert to a lower level. Page 13. At the 200 level of consciousness, power first appears. Courage, 200, is the zone of exploration, accomplishment, fortitude, and determination. People at this level put back into the world as much energy as they take. At the lower levels, populations as well as individuals drain energy from society without reciprocating. Further levels include neutrality, 250, willingness, 310, acceptance, 350, reason, 400, and love, 500. This level is characterized by the development of a love that is unconditional, unchanging, and permanent. It doesn't fluctuate, its source isn't dependent on external factors. Loving is a state of being. It's a forgiving, nurturing, and supportive way of relating to the world. This is the level of true happiness. Interesting facts from the book. The concept and theories behind these experiments were conducted over a 20-year period using a variety of kinesiology tests and examinations. Kinesiology has an almost certain 100% accuracy reading every time. It will always reveal yes, no, true, and false answers. Collective consciousness. These experiments reveal that there is a higher power that connects everything and everyone. Everything calibrates at certain levels from weak to high, including books, food, water, clothes, people, animals, buildings, cars, movies, sports, music, etc. 85% of the human race calibrates below the critical level of integrity at 200. The overall average level of human consciousness stands at 207. Human consciousness was dangling at below the 200 level, 190, for many centuries before it suddenly rose up to its present level sometime in the mid-1980s. Hence Nostradamus's end of the world predictions may have been avoided. He made his predictions at a time when human consciousness was at below the 200 level. For the world to stay at levels below 200 over a prolonged period of time would cause a great imbalance that would undoubtedly lead to the destruction of all humanity. The power of the few individuals at the top counterbalances the weakness of the masses. One individual at level 300 counterbalances 90,000 individuals below level 200. One individual at level 500 counterbalances 750,000 individuals below level 200. One individual at level 700 counterbalances 70 million individuals below level 200. In other words, as a company creator of the world, once you step out of the low vibratory level of fear and vibrate at the level of courage, and above, Not only will you be transforming your own personal life into an incredible experience, you will also be helping to raise the consciousness of mankind, and will become a part in co-creating a less fearful world for everyone. Ready to be the change you wish to see in the world. Page 14. Chapter 4, Transformation Tool #1F, Emotional Freedom Techniques Registered. Emotional Freedom Techniques Registered EFT, is becoming increasingly well known, and respected, in many fields related to alternative health and wellness. Not only is it proving to be extremely effective at an increasing array of afflictions, including fears and phobias, it's so simple that even children can do it once they learn the basics. EFT is often described as a needle-free version of acupuncture because it clears energy blockages along the body's meridian pathways and proposes that most, if not all, illnesses are caused by unresolved emotional issues. Whether you believe this or not, it's hard to deny the effectiveness of EFT when you see it in action, often clearing long-standing mental, emotional and physical ailments within moments. Performing EFT involves very light tapping with 2 fingers on specific points on your body. The karate chop point is on the outside edge of either hand, midway between the little finger and wrist, right about where you would hit if you gave a karate chop. This point is tapped continuously while reciting a setup statement 3 times. This statement is designed to reverse something called psychological reversal, which is a resistance to the tapping that will be done afterwards. Reader contributions. I am having to face the worst fear a mother can ever confront right now since my daughter has cancer. I actually use several methods for releasing fear. Before going to bed, I ask the angels to take my fear and transmute it so that I can sleep peacefully. They are very obliging that way. I start my day by meditating and bringing in the light of my higher self. While in this high vibrational state, I think of all the things I have to be grateful for and send blessings out to others. I also use EFT to tap away the fears and tape in peace. Many times I will do this mentally during a meditation with wonderful results. I use all of these methods to keep my thoughts in the light where fear cannot dwell. Rhonda Page. I devised a technique that combines EFT with Ho'oponopono and added an interdimensional contract release affirmation that frees up several issues on various levels in one session. So far I have found this combination method to be one of the most powerfully effective processes to date. Jan Turner. Besides the karate chop point, there are 7 main tapping points on the body. Eyebrow point, on the inside edge of either eyebrow, directly on the bony ridge of the eye socket. Side of eye, at the outside corner of either eye, also on the bony ridge of the eye socket. Under eye, directly beneath either eye, still on the bony ridge of the eye socket. Under nose, midway between the nose and upper lip. Chin, in the crease between the lower lip and chin. Collarbone, slightly below and to either side of the U-shaped notch where the collarbones meet. Under the arm, about 4 inches below the armpit, on the side of the torso, right above bra strap level for ladies. Page 15. Alternative points. Some practitioners also tape on the top of the head, 4 of the fingers on either hand or other locations, but even sticking with the main ones described above works well for most people. Reader contributions. The absolutely best method I have found to rid myself of fears has been EFT. I have used it to eliminate fear of success, fear of failure, fear of those I love dying or being injured, and many other irrational fears. I have also used EFT to help others overcome fears, of heights, and of public speaking. It's a profoundly powerful tool and amazingly quick, better than any other method I've come across. It's simple, and free. To learn, you can self-apply it in situations where you feel overwhelmed by fear and be free of that fear in a matter of minutes. Roz. To perform a round of EFT to ease fear, you would start by lightly tapping on the karate chop point on the side of the hand continuously with 2 fingers while reciting the setup statement 3 times. Even though I feel afraid right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Being very specific about the details can often help you get even better results, so you may want to say, even though I'm afraid I won't get this promotion, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Then you would start tapping lightly 5 to 7 times on each of the main tapping points, starting at the eyebrow point and working your way down your body. As you tap each point, tune into the fearful feelings and say one statement regarding the fear. This fear of failure. This fear of being disappointed. What if I don't get this promotion? What if I'm stuck in a dead-end job forever? I feel so nervous. I don't want to be afraid of this outcome anymore. Once you have completed one round of tapping, you can keep going and tap through more rounds, if you still feel anxious, or you can switch to more positive, empowering statements and tap on those. Positive statements like these typically work well. I don't have to feel nervous about this. I believe that it will all work out. I choose to feel confident about my success. I choose to believe that I'll get this promotion. Or something even better will happen for me. All is well. I know that all is well. As you tap on the negative statements while tuning into your feelings of fear, you will be clearing out blockages in your body's energy field. Following up with positive statements has proven to be effective for many people because they help reinforce a positive outlook after clearing out the negative emotions. The more consistently you do it, the better it seems to work. Some people start with a half-hearted round or two of tapping and conclude that it doesn't work, but some issues can be stubborn and require numerous rounds of tapping even over a period of days, weeks and months. The same will probably hold true for fear. If you are addressing very long-standing, intense fears, they may take some time to fully clear. Minor bouts of anxiety or nervousness should be easier to clear, often within minutes. Reminder: be as specific as possible about the issues you are tapping on. Rather than tapping for "I'm afraid," try including the reasons you are afraid, what you most fear happening, and why. This will help you to really connect with the limiting beliefs and strong emotions that are fueling the fear in the first place. Read more about the power of AFT here. Tap yourself into Magnificence, page 16. Transformation Tool #2 Affirmations for strength, peace, and confidence. Affirmations are similar to affirmative prayers, except you are not directing them to the universe, but simply reciting positive statements with the intention to shift your focus from fear to love, peace, joy, confidence, or any other empowering feeling. For affirmations to be truly effective, they need to be repeated frequently throughout the day, or even better, on an ongoing basis for longer periods of time. You can use affirmations written by other people or write your own. Writing your own affirmations is easier than you may think. Simply think about the feeling you want the affirmation to trigger within you and word the statement so that it is in present tense. For example, if you feel anxious about an upcoming meeting, you might create an affirmation that states, "I feel calm, confident and centered." Say this affirmation over and over until you really do start to feel calm, confident and centered. One common problem with this approach: your subconscious mind may feel resistant and keep returning to the reasons why you are afraid. Consequently, you will engage in a sort of tug-of-war with your subconscious where you keep saying how calm and confident you feel, and your subconscious mind keeps replying, "You are so full of it. You know you're really scared." If this does happen, you'll be able to feel it because the affirmation will feel like a lie every time you recite it. If you persist in saying it anyway, you'll probably feel progressively more anxious as you go along. One effective solution is to turn your affirmation into a statement of conscious choice. Rather than saying, "I feel calm, confident and centered," you might say, "I choose to feel calm and centered right now." This helps bypass your subconscious objections because you are not denying your fearful feelings, you are simply acknowledging that you choose to feel differently. Reader contributions: I use affirmations, and have modified one I read somewhere. Love is everywhere, love is in the air, it's spreading through the world, touching everyone, filling them with love and peace. I am full of love and beloved. I will often silently repeat that to myself as I walk or any time I want to change from fear to love. I imagine people everywhere feeling love and light shining from them. That page, something that helps me many times and I have used it with clients with great success, is this affirmation: There is no fear, there is only God, but you have to be a believer to use this technique, if not in God, in divine order and wisdom. It is very powerful because it puts you in touch with that greater order and wisdom that governs the universe, in which there is no fear. It feels very soothing and helps you feel peaceful, steady and grounded inside. Ismene Epistle page. I use positive affirmations on a daily basis. I am programmed for success. When a person understands what fear really is, they can overcome fear easily. It is like a monkey wrench thrown into your favorite project. You have the unlimited power of your mind to correct anything negative and do anything you want in life. Fear can only exist if you allow it get out of your comfort zone and push right through whatever mountain it is in your life. Gail. Page 17. Another solution is to relieve the pressure you feel by focusing on a gradual process of transformation, rather than stating the affirmation as fact. Example, with every passing moment I am feeling calmer and more in control. Or, I am starting to feel a little calmer now. If you find that you are still struggling to make affirmations work for you, there is still another option that can be effective when the others have failed. Try stating what you want, rather than worrying about what you don't want. For example, I want to go into that meeting feeling very self-assured, very centered and very resourceful. I want to know instinctively how to address the questions I will be asked, and I want to leave the meeting feeling like I made a strong positive impression. As you say these words, try to tune into the feelings of what you are saying. Imagine feeling proud of yourself, confident in your abilities, and knowing that the meeting went well. This technique should have a positive effect on your state of mind because you will have reinforced your vision of the outcome you want, rather than continuing to perpetuate the fear. A great way to accelerate your success with affirmations is to take advantage of modern technology. Just released as part of the Brave Heart system is the special brainwave entrainment audio called the Fear Removal Machine. This audio also contains an affirmation sequence that, when heard while being guided into a deep meditative state, will assist in the reprogramming of your non-conscious mind to block unwanted thought and behavior patterns. As you allow the special audio to work, you will be encouraging the ongoing acceptance of new and positive ways of thinking, behaving and living. Click here to learn more about this audio and the Brave Heart system in the Best Mind Power offer. Page 18. Transformation Tool #3 Connecting with pure positive energy. One of the most relaxing ways to dissolve fear and reconnect with your inner self is by spending time in the presence of pure positive energy, nature, children, or animals. Natural settings like parks, forests, beaches, gardens, or even your own backyard are virtual treasure troves of positive energy. Sitting quietly or strolling slowly as you gaze around at all of the beauty and abundance of nature can have a powerful restorative effect on your mind, body and spirit, and it takes very little time to really feel a difference. Start by consciously letting go of scattered or fearful thoughts and attuning to the sights and sounds around you. Breathe deeply, enjoy the feeling of sunshine warming your face and gentle breezes stirring your hair, and allow yourself a few minutes to fully relax. Listen to the birds singing, watch small critters foraging for food, and within minutes you will feel your stress levels begin to drop spontaneously. Even better, close your eyes and try to feel the positive energy flowing from your surroundings into every cell of your body. With every breath, imagine that you are inhaling positive energy, which then spreads throughout your entire body. If you don't have any natural settings to enjoy near your home, you might buy an audio CD of natural sounds like bird calls, rainforest sounds, thunderstorms, babbling brooks, or wind chimes to enjoy whenever you like. Reader contributions. I pat and play with my dog. Dogs are known to have a high vibrational frequency, which is why they are such good healers for people. When I was a therapy assistant, I took my dog to work with me, and she would have the most effect on not only the happiness of the people there but their progress too. Deb, if at all possible, I go and spend time with my young son or my cat, and straight away I feel protective, and this eases a lot of my fear. The nurturing instinct is very strong. This takes away most initial fears, but then later in meditation I confront the fear feeling braver, but I use my own technique. While meditating, I imagine I'm my 4-year-old son or myself at 4, and I do what all 4-year-olds do, and I question my fears till they've all been answered. Then I imagine I'm my cat sitting outside a mouse hole, and any fears that come out I attack them, play with them, examine them from all my cat angles, and I usually find my mind wanders to now more important thoughts, and I know the fears have gone. Anonymous. Just close your eyes and pretend you are there, soaking up positive energy. Spending time with children is another great way to reconnect with positive energy, simply because they are so carefree and happy most of the time. They haven't yet learned how to limit their thinking and therefore have vibrant, active imaginations. Page 19. If you have children of your own, spend an hour or two building a blanket tent in your living room and make believe you are camping in the wilderness. Or gather some art supplies and create something fun. Or take the kids to the park and run around to purge nervous energy from your system. If you don't have children of your own, simply visit a nearby park and observe them on the playground for 30 minutes or so. Notice how enthusiastic, joyful and fun-loving they are, and feel those same qualities awakening within yourself. Animals are also a great source of positive energy. Spend 30 minutes gently petting your cat or playing fetch with your dog. Or you can take your dog outside for a brisk walk and watch how quickly your tension dissolves. If you don't have pets of your own, you could offer to walk a neighbor's dog or volunteer at an animal shelter for a few hours a week. However you choose to do it, basking in these simple sources of pure positive energy for just a few minutes a day can help minimize fear and boost your mood. Page 20. Transformation tool #4 Staying in the present moment. One of the most challenging aspects of fear is that it can often twist your perspective so dramatically that you can't keep a balanced view of the situation that triggered your fear. Your fear response is usually deeply connected to your limiting beliefs, which creates a sort of filter through which you will see most of your life experiences. This filter will assign meaning to everything that happens to you, even where no such meaning really exists. Here's an example. Imagine that you recently applied for a promotion at work, and part of the application process involved writing and submitting a detailed report to your boss. Several days after you submitted your report, your boss approached you with a serious expression on his face and asked to speak privately with you at the end of the day. Reader contributions. It's very easy and at the same time difficult for a lot of people. We can call it duality. It's what about our life here is on this planet. Love is present all the time, surrounding you, universal love, everybody can feel it. Fear is not rational, we create it. So if you want loss your fear, then don't create it. It is so simple. Fear don't exist, love do. Roberto Durante. Page. My approach to fear is simple. Move my attention to the present moment. Feel fully the emotion of fear. Allow it to be. The worst thing that can happen is to try to fight the fear. You can't, you just let it be by being in the now. It will eventually dissolve by itself, and it has worked wonders for me many times, over and over again. This is the simplest and most effective way I have used in my life, and you can use it anywhere. Anytime. Tanjan Yang. What would your first reaction be? Would your boss's stern expression trigger feelings of fear and anxiety? Would you jump to the conclusion that he must not have liked your report? Or would you consider unrelated possibilities, like they may be deep in thought or concerned about an unrelated situation? Would you remain optimistic that your report was high quality and you still stand a great chance at getting the promotion? Your underlying beliefs will make all the difference in whether you feel fear or confidence in this type of situation. If you have a strong belief that you are not good enough, or the quality of your work is lacking somehow, you will naturally jump to negative conclusions. If you feel confident about yourself and your work, you will probably not feel worried. When you feel that your beliefs may be creating fearful emotions as in the example above, there is a simple technique you can use to diffuse them and center yourself again. In the first moment when you notice your fear and anxiety beginning to rise, stop what you're doing and take a few minutes to tune into your bodily sensations. Notice that your shoulder muscles may start to feel tense, your breathing may become rapid and shallow, your heart rate may speed up, and so on. Begin first tuning into these feelings, and acknowledging that they are happening. You can even say to yourself, I can feel my shoulders getting tight and tense. My hands are getting clammy. I'm really feeling nervous right now. Page 21. Then, start deliberately calming these reactions by breathing slowly and deeply, relaxing your muscles and mentally staying in the present moment. Resist the temptation to let your thoughts race ahead and worry about what may happen, what it might mean for you. All of those are merely perceptions, not necessarily what's really happening. Stay in the present moment for as long as it takes to feel calm again. If you simply avoid letting your thoughts race ahead to frightening scenarios, your fear should fade easily. Page 22. Transformation Tool #5 Rewriting the fear. You can also take the previous technique one step further by actually rewriting your fears into something much more positive. Remember that fear is your body's natural response to what you believe is a threatening situation. On the other hand, if you can choose to believe that there is nothing to fear, your body will have no reason to react. If you have tried to relax your body and mentally stay in the present moment but can't seem to shake the feelings of fear and anxiety, you might try deliberately rewriting your experience so that it has a different outcome than the one you fear. Continuing with the displeased boss example, you could change your belief about what his stern expression means. Rather than assuming it is related to you and leaping to negative conclusions about your promotion, you could say to yourself, he'll probably just stressed about a deadline or other problem. Maybe he just had an argument with someone. Maybe he don't feel well today. Maybe. Keep going until you've explored as many alternatives as you can come up with. Another approach is to kick it up a notch and turn your thoughts in a more empowering direction. As soon as you notice that you're starting to veer into negative thinking about your promotion, stop yourself immediately and engage in some empowering self-talk like this. I know he can't be upset about my report because I put a lot of effort into it. I know I did a really good job. I'm proud of myself for that. I'm sure he's just stressed or preoccupied about something else. No matter what happens regarding this promotion, I'm sure it will be wonderful. Or you can strengthen your belief that you can handle any outcome at all, even if I'm not pleased with my report. I feel like I gave it my best shot. Even if this promotion don't come through for me, something wonderful will still come my way soon, I'm sure. Finally, you can create a game in which you come up with the very best outcome you can imagine, no matter how outlandish it may be. He is probably so dazzled by my report that he's speechless. He'll probably worried that he'll end up being promoted to his job. Maybe he realizes now that he can't afford to pay me the millions of dollars a year that I'm worth. No matter what happens, I choose to expect the very best. Create the most outlandish, funny, or inspiring outcomes you can imagine, and in no time at all you'll feel the fear fading and your heart lifting, and maybe a few laughs bubbling up from inside too. The most important part of using these variations is to shake free from the illusion of fearful possibilities and remind yourself that fear is just an emotional response triggered by your own thoughts. Changing your thoughts will also change the emotional response. Page 23. Transformation Tool #6 Gradually Choosing Better Thoughts, Abraham Hicks Technique. In their best-selling books, Jerry and Esther Hicks offer a life-changing technique that is easy to use no matter your level of development. They encourage you to start from where you are right now and then deliberately choose a thought that makes you feel just a little bit better. Let's use an example so you can see the technique in action. Imagine that you are in the midst of serious financial troubles. You lie awake at night wondering how you are going to pay your bills. Your income is not enough to cover everything, so you are falling further and further behind, and your anxiety and fear continue to grow. When you're stuck in a situation like that, your dominant thoughts will probably be something like this: I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel so powerless. I feel so scared about my financial future. I need to come up with more money, but I don't know how. Terrible things could happen if I don't get this situation straightened out fast. Obviously, these kinds of thoughts are disempowering, which will only keep you feeling stuck. Using the Abraham Hicks technique would involve choosing a thought that makes you feel a bit better than those other thoughts do. A good thought might be, "I want to believe that everything will work out eventually." Keep repeating that thought for several minutes, and you will find that you do begin to feel a bit more hopeful and less frightened. Then you would choose another thought that makes you feel even better, like this one: "I have made it 2 tough times before, so I'm sure I can do it now too." Once again, stay with this thought for several minutes until you notice that you're starting to feel stronger. Then choose still another thought that makes you feel even better: "I do believe that things are going to work out for me, even if it takes a little more time." Keep going like this until your fear has been completely replaced by optimism, hope and courage. This method usually works extremely well because you're not trying to force yourself to leap straight from negative thoughts to positive thoughts, but rather taking a more gradual approach. This can help you avoid feeling like you're lying to yourself, like we covered in the section on affirmations. Just take your time and transition very gradually. The best part about this technique is that consistent practice will give you more control over your thoughts than you would believe possible, dramatically boosting your confidence and sense of control. Having difficulty reaching for that next better feeling thought? Modern mystic Joel Bruce Wallach teaches a revolutionary technique for tuning into, and gently raising your vibrational state. Page 24. By simply tracing a self-created ruler with your finger, anyone can learn to rise above the fear sensation. Listen in free, or read the transcripts, as Joel takes us through this transformational process in an exclusive Evolution Design tele-seminar. Reader contribution: the technique you do is by having a conversation with yourself starting right where you are now emotionally, be that anger, fear, etc., on whatever subject you may be dealing with. The point is not to try and solve the problem or conquer the world in a single moment. Just start at whatever feeling is in that moment pouring through your body. Give it a little expression. Understand there is value in the emotion you are feeling, no matter what that emotion may be. Then try to find in your line of thinking any thought that feels a little bit better. Don't worry if there are moments that you fall back to the old habit of worrying. Just start with the process each time something comes up and keep trying to turn your thought to something better. I had doubts at first that doing it would actually do anything. It just seemed I was venting and saying phony words. After a few days of doing this, during one of my conversations, I cut loose with sarcasm about what I was doing and chuckled. It was in that moment I understood that I had improved how I felt. The way I had just previously felt was dark and nasty. I know that doesn't sound like a success of any sort, but the ability to find sarcasm instead of the depression creates a lighter load, so to speak. Something that small immediately creates an improved condition from the one before. You do need to continue doing this each time you start to feel any kind of upsetting feelings. I just kept doing this, even if the relief was just barely above venting. Eventually each emotion will give way to a different one, and if you are always trying to make the conversation go in a set tone of a better thought than the ones that were preceding, your emotional level rises up the scale. A piece of advice: my previous failed attempts were due to my trying to go from a feeling of fear to that of security in an instant. It was impossible no matter how much I wanted it and knew it existed for me. I had been caught up in the emotions of what was going on. There was a slow start for me, but it picked up quickly the more I found myself using it and finding better thoughts. Kim. Page 25. Transformation Tool #7 Energy Medicine Techniques and train your mind and body to refuse entry to today's viruses. Boost immune system. Weak internal systems can become prey for strong viruses. On top of that, fear of the viruses themselves compromises your immune system. So what can you do? When you entrain with the natural vibrations of energy healing, you can feel yourself relax into alpha and even theta states of consciousness. Enhanced by this deeply relaxed and receptive state, your immune system becomes strengthened through 2 powerful energy healing methods. Based on the principle that everything is energy and that our energy is affected by everything that we come into contact with, Crystalia Marie has developed an entirely new method of healing the body and transforming negative emotions through the use of energy symbols. Click here to learn more and to obtain a personal experience of these beautiful symbols. Crystalia has developed more than 400 symbols for health and healing, and with the Brave Heart system, you will receive symbols for boosting your immune system in a package combined with Mrs. Hopkins Immune Building Sound Medicine. See page 32 for more details about Mrs. Sound Medicine. The symbol pack includes 7 healing symbols to energetically support and build your immune system, by creating a smooth flow of energy that will strengthen, build, repair and replace weakened mental and physical energy. In addition, you will find a guided meditation for releasing fears. They are so easy to use. You can build your immune system while jogging, going for a walk, falling asleep or sitting on the plane. At the first sign of cold or flu, I pull out the symbols and sound medicine. I have friends who were sick for weeks, while I healed within a matter of days. Since I have been using this set during flu season, I don't get sick anymore. Arian Thomas, Sedona, as. Page 26. The Diamond Light Grid Energy work is the result of many years of study by Julian Plaby. At its core, this work is based upon the magic of sacred geometry and our individual connection to the whole. Click here to experience the Diamond Light Grid, and click here to learn more about sacred geometry. In the Brave Heart system, you get the special Diamond Light Code video for releasing fear. The geometric forms, specially selected music and affirmations combined in this free transmission have been put together to form a waking meditation, which assists in helping to retune your internal electromagnetic environment to an alternative energy frequency, one that is based in love rather than fear. It is often said that vibrational or energy medicine will become more important in the 21st century, and this is but one way that you can access a more loving, peaceful vibration or energy that will help you to recognize and gracefully release your fears, both conscious and unconscious. Other energy techniques. Author and energy healer Donna Eden also has some powerful methods for transforming fear or other forms of negative energy. These methods often include techniques like running cool water over the pulse points on your wrists and the back of your neck, and changing your posture by reaching your arms up to the sky and smiling. Donna also offers an energy medicine kit that describes her methods in more detail, including movement, pressure point massage, and breath work. Learn more about an easy 3-step technique for relieving stress, with illustrations, simple stress relief techniques. Page 27. Transformation Tool #8. What's the worst thing that could happen? Dale Carnegie Technique. Fear often gets out of control because you worry about terrible consequences that may result, when those consequences may not be as bad as you think initially. For example, you may find yourself in the grip of an anxiety attack when you think about doing something new, such as speaking in front of a group of people. Writer and lecturer Dale Carnegie taught a powerful method to deal with these types of fears. Ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen? Using the public speaking example, you might answer, I could make a fool of myself, the audience would laugh at me, I'd be so embarrassed and ashamed. Although these consequences wouldn't be fun to experience, you could certainly handle them if they did occur, right? Accept the worst possible consequences you think could happen, and then decide to move forward anyway. This technique can be incredibly empowering because you reduce the size and magnitude of your fear by realizing that you can handle the things you would otherwise shy away from. Page 28. Night Prayer by C.T. Michael. Click here to view more of his inspirational Native American art in the Evolution Art Gallery. Page 29. Transformation Tool #9. Connecting with your source through prayer. Prayer can be one of the fastest and easiest ways to soothe fearful thoughts and feelings, simply because the act of praying occupies your mind so completely that you can't be focused on fearful thoughts at the same time. There are several types of prayer that can ease fearful thoughts. Petitioning prayer. This is the type of prayer that most people are probably familiar with, which includes asking the universe for a specific outcome. Examples: please heal this disease, please protect my son today, please help us to pay our bills more easily, and so on. When it comes to fear, This type of prayer is most helpful if you deliberately turn over your concerns to a higher power and believe that they will be taken care of. For example, I don't know what to do about this situation and am really scared. I am turning it over to you to be transformed and healed. Thank you, Amen. Then concentrate on letting go and allowing the higher power to handle it for you. If fearful thoughts threaten to take over your mind again, simply repeat the process of turning the situation over and letting go. Affirmative prayer is one of the more empowering types of prayer because you are affirming to the universe your belief that all will be well, instead of asking for it to be so. For example, instead of asking the universe to handle something for you, you would instead affirm that you know that it will turn out in the most positive way possible. Even though this situation frightens me, I know that you are taking care of it and I know that it's all going to work out fine. Thank you. Page 30. Gratitude prayer. Prayers of gratitude can be immensely comforting simply because they boost your emotional state and make you feel very happy, which makes it nearly impossible for fear to remain in your consciousness. Gratitude prayers are simple, either write or state aloud all of the wonderful things in your life that you are grateful for, and give heartfelt thanks for them. Just a few minutes of this activity can dissolve fear and leave you feeling confident and inspired. Reader contributions. Let me share a simple prayer that reinforces my belief and confidently face all my fears and eventually live happily every moment. That is, as follows: God, I am always in your presence for all are within you. Let your presence live in my pure heart and sound mind that I continually do all good and right deeds for the love of you. Amen. Roman Sermon Tolentino page. When fear strikes, I console myself that it is not permanent, that it will blow over, and I put trust that with prayer, I can overcome it. I believe that I have been put here for a reason and that there is protection in what I believe in. Charlotte Page. I release my fear through prayer, trusting God implicitly for He has never failed me yet. I confess my fears to Him and ask Him to help me deal with it according to His plan for my life. I focus on overcoming my fear and what I want to happen. I live as if it's already so. Sometimes my fears confront me head-on and I am forced to deal with them, but once God helps me to do so, I realize I spent more energy running from my fears than I did in overcoming them. I feel liberated as opposed to the trapped feeling which comes from avoiding your fears. In fact, one does not start to live until one can face one's fears knowing that you will overcome. My faith is in my Creator who will never fail me or you if you believe. God bless you. I love you all. Carrie Green. Silent Communion. Believe it or not, you don't have to speak or write a single word in order to connect with your source. Instead, you can simply close your eyes, breathe deeply and imagine that a cord of brilliant white light travels from the universe through the top of your head and down into your heart center. Imagine this light slowly filling your entire being, dissolving all fearful feelings and filling you with joy and peace. This form of prayer could accurately be called meditation or visualization, except you would be deliberately focused on feeling your connection to the universe. Ultimately, it does not matter which type of prayer you use, as long as you are using it to help shift your focus away from fear and toward more peaceful thoughts. Page 31. Transformation tool #10 Purging fear with automatic writing. Automatic writing is the process of writing without conscious planning or thinking. In other words, simply pouring out the words onto paper without censoring yourself, editing, or directing the flow of thoughts in any deliberate way. This is a powerful method for working through fear-based thoughts because it enables you to bypass your conscious mind and connect with stronger, subconscious thoughts that could be triggering your fear. Even better, the technique is very easy to do. Simply put pen to paper and let anything at all pour out onto the page. Write and write until you feel like you have nothing left. Not sure where to start? Try an open-ended statement like one of these: I feel scared right now because I don't know what to do about. I feel powerless about. By the time you're done writing, you should feel lighter and more peaceful, like a burden has been lifted off of your shoulders. Here is a good example of the type of situations this process can be used for, using automatic writing to release fear. Page 32. Transformation Tool #11 Meditate to release fear. Meditation is a practice of consciously focusing your attention for a period of time. While there are many keys to effective meditation, the essence of the practice is learning to focus your attention as you choose. How does this relate to fear? You may have heard it said that every moment in life offers you a choice. You can come from love or fear. There are many ways of stating the contrasting choice that each moment offers, but the basic idea is the same. You can live from a positive life-affirming place or in a mode of negativity and protection. Choice is a skill. It means that you can see alternatives and focus on one versus the other. In other words, you can consciously focus your attention according to how you choose to be. This is where meditation comes in. Meditation trains your awareness and your skills of attention. For example, one way to meditate is to focus on your breathing. You keep your attention centered on your breath. You find a comfortable, upright, seated position in a quiet, private space, relax your body, and focus on following the natural rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. The skill comes in when something enters your mind that is other than paying attention to your breathing, say a thought about other things you have to do, a memory, or some feeling or sensation in your body. In meditation, you deal with your wandering thought, feeling, or sensation in 3 steps. 1. You recognize the thought, feeling, or sensation that is other than your point of focus, in this case your breathing. You become aware that your attention has wandered. You accept whatever has grabbed your attention. You welcome it into your awareness. 2. You gently release the thought, feeling, or sensation that has grabbed your attention. You are aware of it, but you let it go, without giving it any more time, energy, or attention. 3. You return to your meditative focus, again, in this case, your breathing. As many times as your mind wanders to other thoughts, feelings, or sensations, you repeat these 3 steps. I call these steps the 3 Rs, recognize, release, and return. The more you meditate, the better you become at maintaining your focus and the easier it becomes to let go of anything that pulls you away from your focus. This is a skill that you can apply to anything that you do in life. For example, you might desire to build a better relationship with someone. That is a conscious focus for you. As you become close, fears might arise as a result of painful relationship. Page 33. Experiences in your past. You can treat these fears as you would treat any thought, feeling, or sensation that arises in meditation. First, recognize your fear, honor it, and welcome it into your awareness. Fear has its greatest power when it lurks in your subconscious. Become aware of your fear and accept it. Don't be afraid of it. Observe it without reacting to it. This begins to take the emotional edge off of it. Second, consciously release your fear. Make a decision that you will not give it any more time, energy, or attention. Third, return to focusing on your conscious intent to build an intimate relationship. Focus on the feeling of open, honest communication that you desire and bring that into the moment. Be that. Act in that way. As many times as fear resurfaces, go through the 3 Rs. Most people find that progress in meditation, as well as progress in keeping focus in life, follows stages over time. As you practice consistently, you may find that, at first, you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings than ever before. You may not have been so aware of your fears until you started to pay attention to your inner life. It's okay. That's natural. Second, you will begin to relate to your thoughts, feelings, and fears differently. You'll see that they come and go. You'll learn that as you become aware of them and accept them, they begin to lose their grip on your attention. You'll be able to release them more and more easily over time. Finally, you'll be able to center yourself in your chosen point of focus, whether it's in deepening a meditative experience or any other experience that you desire in life. Whatever you focus on increases. Therefore, your ability to consciously focus your attention is the most essential skill you can master. Meditation is the best way that I know to gain this skill. To get started, I recommend you try my free Core Energy Technique audio. This free audio shows you how to release any unwanted thought, feeling or emotion. It's a powerful way to release fear and connect with your heart in any moment. And it gets better and better the more you do it. Click here to try the Core Energy Technique. Copyright 2009 by Kevin Soninger. And at our Brave Heart System, you also get a wonderful guided meditation audio created by Ayla Ed. It's called Energy Shield Visualization and it will help you create a flexible and protective force. You really should try it. Page 34. Transformation Tool #12 Seeking an objective opinion. Fearful thoughts and feelings can also be purged by talking them out with someone you trust. Have you ever noticed how much better you feel after a heartfelt talk with a close friend or family member? As you talk about your struggles, you process the underlying emotions that come along with them and feel cleansed by the time you're done, like you have purged all of the negativity from your system. However, it's important to pick your conversation partner carefully. Avoid confiding in people that are overly negative, closed-minded, or judgmental. Instead, try to pick someone who has a lot of life experience, who is generally successful and well-balanced in their own life, and would be supportive and encouraging in their approach to your problem. Not only will you feel better after hashing out all the details of your struggles with this person, they may be able to provide solid objective insights that you may have missed because you were too emotionally involved in the situation. Page 35. Transformation Tool #13 Destroying Fear Symbolically. If you don't have a supportive person to confide in, there is another way to purge your fears and destroy them for good through strong symbolic action. Take a clean sheet of paper and write out everything that is bothering you. Focus not only on the physical situations that worry you, but also the way they make you feel. Use strong language to express these feelings and don't hold back. Example: these financial problems make me feel so helpless. I feel like a victim because I can't figure out a way to resolve these money problems, and that makes me so angry. I don't deserve this. I'm not going to accept this situation any longer. Really tune into your fear, anger, despair, sadness, or any other emotion you are feeling at the time, and imagine pouring all of it out onto that sheet of paper. When you feel like you have fully purged the negativity from your system, take that sheet of paper and destroy it as forcefully as you can. Rip it into tiny pieces, shred it, burn it, flush it down the toilet, or dump it into the trash can. As you perform these actions, affirm that the fear is now gone, you have let it go and it cannot come back to haunt you again. Don't worry if it actually does come back, simply repeat the process as many times as necessary. Page 36. Transformation Tool #14 Clearing Negativity with Ho'oponopono. Another effective way of clearing negativity is by seeking divine intervention. One method growing in popularity is called Ho'oponopono, which in Hawaiian means to make right or cleanse. Ho'oponopono is an ancient practice that has recently been brought back into public awareness through the work of Dr. Eli Kalahulan and Dr. Joe Vitale and their book Zero Limits. The basic premise for Ho'oponopono is that we must take full responsibility for everything that happens in our lives. This can be a hard pill to swallow for many of us because we don't create problems and struggles on purpose, but our subconscious thoughts are often quietly working in the background to attract things we don't want into our lives. Dr. Hulan suggests that our minds can only be influenced by two things: memories or inspiration. Memories are subconscious thoughts and old programs that continually replay in our minds, causing pain, frustration and problems. Inspiration comes when we erase those old memories and reconnect with our source, divinity. Ho'oponopono is used to erase those memories and reconnect with divinity. Not only is it a very easy process to use, it can often have far-reaching positive effects in your life. Ho'oponopono involves the recitation of 4 simple phrases as you focus on your problems: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. As you say these words repeatedly while focusing on the issues that are causing you to feel fear or pain, you are in essence saying to the divine, I take full responsibility for the appearance of these problems in my life. even if I don't know how I created them. Please clear these memories and make this situation right again. Thank you. I love you. Does that sound too simple? Too good to be true? Try it yourself and you'll probably discover what many people do. It works. Click here to learn more about Ho'oponopono and how it was used to turn an argument into a beautiful moment. Page 37. Transformation Tool #15 The Sedona Method Registered The Sedona Method Registered is a simple process that allows you to let go of painful or troublesome emotions, which involves one or more of three possible approaches. 1. Making a conscious choice to let go of the feeling. Most of the time we are so entangled in our emotional responses that we don't realize we have the option to let go and detach from them, but this is one of the key techniques taught in the Sedona Method Registered. Here's an example of how to use this technique. When you notice that you feel overwhelmed by fear, pause in that moment and choose to detach from the feeling. This is very much like taking an emotional step back. The fear is still there, but you are no longer wrapped up in it. You simply dropped your attachment to it, just like you would stop holding onto a physical object like a pen, and allow it to fall out of your hand. 2. Allowing and accepting the feeling rather than resisting it. We usually try to avoid painful emotions by denying them, repressing them, or running away from them, but unfortunately they keep coming back until we deal with them. Here's how to allow and accept fearful feelings. When you feel fear, or any unsettling emotion, taking over your body, stop what you're doing in that moment and simply allow the feelings to flow over you. Don't try to resist them or transform them, just accept them. You should notice that most often, they will ebb and flow like the tides, sometimes getting stronger and other times fading away. The greatest benefit of this exercise is realizing that fearful feelings cannot hurt you. They may be uncomfortable, but they're just feelings, sensations triggered by your thoughts. Reader contributions, the Sedona Method Releasing Technique as taught by Larry Crane. First, you allow the fear to come up, you don't try to fight it, you embrace it, you do not become afraid of your own fear, because it is just a feeling. Then you ask yourself if you could let go of some of this fear, if you would let go of some of that fear, and finally you ask the question, when? To which the answer is right now. Then, once again, you allow yourself to feel whatever fear you still feel, and on a scale from 1 to 10 you ask how much fear you now have. Then you go through the process of allowing and releasing. Gradually, your fear becomes a 9, an 8, a 7, etc., and within 10 to 15 minutes you can release all your fear and feel very light and relaxed again. Sometimes this fear is felt in the body as a tightness in the area of the stomach. You can place your fist right on the stomach, clenched tight in the beginning, and begin to relax your fist, representing your inner tightness, and slowly relax, open up your fist. This opens up the solar plexus, which becomes constricted when we feel fear, and the fear is gone. Ismeniopistly. 3. Embracing the essence of the feeling. Most of us are so used to running away from painful emotions that the thought of embracing them seems frightening, but this technique can strengthen your confidence in amazing ways. How to do it? Immerse yourself in the sensations and explore them fully. Notice how your body feels as you entertain various thoughts. Notice how your emotional response escalates as the fear flows over you. Embrace these feelings and learn from them, and they will diminish in intensity more quickly than they would if you were trying to avoid them. Page 38. Transformation Tool #16 Releasing Charged Emotions to Grounding. Grounding is known in metaphysical circles as a process of connecting your consciousness to the earth and releasing excess energy from your body through physical actions. Since emotions are energy also, the process works very well in releasing fear, anxiety and anger. There are many different ways to ground yourself, but a few of the most common are as follows. Root yourself to the earth. Go outside and plant both of your feet firmly on the ground. Barefoot is best, but it will work even with shoes on, and imagine that the soles of your feet are sprouting roots that travel down deep into the earth. Breathe deeply, and with each exhale imagine that your fear is flowing down through your feet and into the earth. As you inhale, imagine that you are drawing up healing, restorative energy from the earth into your body. Even if you cannot go outside, you can still do this exercise indoors. Simply imagine that the roots from your feet travel down through the building and into the ground beneath it. Wash away the excess energy. Taking a shower or bath also seems to help discharge excess emotional energy from the body. Hot, warm, or cold water will work equally well. As you bathe, scrub your hair and body vigorously and imagine that you are sloughing off the fear, anxiety and worry that may be clinging to you. When you rinse, see these particles of energy being washed away down the drain, leaving you feeling refreshed and renewed. Page 39. Transformation Tool #17 Expelling fear through breathwork. Breathing is another great way to expel fearful feelings. When we get frightened, our breathing automatically gets rapid and shallow, reducing our oxygen intake and making us feel smothered. To counteract this, spend several minutes breathing slowly and deeply. Focus on expanding your lungs fully from the bottom. Feel your abdomen expand first, to the top, feel your chest expanding second. Pause for a moment or two, then exhale slowly, allowing your lungs to deflate. Pause again before inhaling, and repeat as many times as you like. You can even enhance this breath work by imagining that you are inhaling cleansing white light, feeling it spread through your body, and then exhaling a cloud of dark gray or black energy, which symbolizes your fearful feelings. With every exhalation, see the dark energy growing lighter and lighter as it is expelled from your body, until eventually you are inhaling and exhaling pure, sparkling white light. Page 40. Transformation Tool #18 Sound Therapy. Sound therapy is a powerful way to transform fear into joy, peace and inspiration. Below are a few of the most common types of sound therapy. Sound medicine. Sound is a particularly powerful vibrational healing tool because creation itself began with sound. Every pitch had its own unique geometric pattern and every geometric pattern has a sound. In her work with sound medicine, Mrs. Hopkins has learned that we are all capable of hearing and vocally producing the very sounds that call our cells back into their proper geometric vibration. Sound medicine reaches beyond language into geometric and emotional imprints that have been a part of your soul since your inception. Healing sounds honor the feelings and beliefs that currently exist. Finally heard and recognized at the most profound levels, your cells figuratively breathe a sigh of relief as you transform emotionally and physically. Change the core belief and change the pattern, and you can change the discomfort you are experiencing. In the Brave Heart System, you experience sound medicine in the Immune System Booster Kit. The audio takes you into 20 minutes of healing sounds, the perfect amount of time to experience deeper states of consciousness for maximum receptivity. Click here to learn more and hear a sample of this work by listening to the replay of the free teleseminar Sound Medicine Healing with Mrs. Hopkins. Music has long been believed to have a positive effect on our minds and bodies because it stimulates positive emotions and raises our vibration. Choose music that includes uplifting tones like those from guitar, piano, flute, or harp. Explore different types of music to find those that work best for you. As long as listening to it makes you feel good, you're on the right track. Page 41. The 6 solfeggio frequencies. These original sound frequencies were apparently used in ancient Gregorian chants, such as the Great Hymn to St. John the Baptist, along with others that church authorities say were lost centuries ago. The chants and their special tones were believed to impart tremendous spiritual blessings when sung in harmony during religious masses. These powerful frequencies were rediscovered by Dr. Joseph Puleo as described in the book Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse by Dr. Leonard Horowitz. I give honor to both of these gentlemen for the part they've played in helping return these lost frequencies back to humanity. The 6 solfeggio frequencies include, at 396 Hz liberating guilt and fear, 417 Hz undoing situations and facilitating change, 528 Hz transformation and miracles, DNA repair, 639 Hz connecting/relationships, 741 Hz awakening intuition, 850 Hz returning to spiritual order. For example, the third note, frequency 528, relates to the not me on the scale and derives from the phrase mira gestirum in Latin meaning miracle. Stunningly, this is the exact frequency used by genetic biochemists to repair broken DNA, the genetic blueprint upon which life is based. Click here to watch a video that uses the sound frequency of 396 Hz to help liberate fear. Brainwave entrainment is growing in popularity because of its effectiveness in triggering your brainwaves to adopt a new pattern. Binaural Beats is one of the more common audio programs available, and it works by introducing two different tones that are close in frequency, one into each ear. As your brain perceives these tones, it creates a pulse that triggers a different brainwave frequency. For example, when you are feeling stressed or frightened, your brain is in the beta state, which is related to waking consciousness. If you were to listen to an audio program that would stimulate the alpha or theta states, you would soon find yourself feeling calmer and quieter. The fear dissipates because your brain shifts to a new frequency. The best thing about these audio programs is that they can effect impressive changes in very little time. And the more you listen, the easier and more quickly your brain will become accustomed to slipping into that alternate state. Page 42. In the Braveheart system we use a variety of brainwave entrainment audios, including the Happiness Booster audio created by Alan Tutt, and the 7-minute Natural High audio created by Jeff Gignac. You'll find full details in the Best Mind Power offer. This audio encourages the production of feel-good chemicals in your brain and delivers a short and powerful burst of brain technology to instantly improve your emotional state, just about any time and anywhere. Chanting a mantra, short word or phrase, can have the same effect on your brain waves as binaural beats. Simply choose an easy word or phrase to recite, like peace or all is well, and sit quietly, close your eyes, and say it over and over again out loud. As you do this, you set aside fearful thoughts and move into a meditative state, alpha state, which shifts your brain waves to a more relaxed frequency and calms you down. Page 43. Integration and Wholeness by Judy McMillan. Click here to view more of her tributes to Mother Earth in the Evolution Art Gallery. Page 44. Transformation Till #19 Feed your mind with inspiration and wisdom. Have you ever noticed that your thoughts tend to snowball the more you focus in a particular direction? The more you focus on things that make you feel frightened, the more those fearful feelings will continue to grow. On the other hand, if you can distract yourself from those fearful thoughts even for a few minutes, you will notice that you automatically start focusing in a more positive direction. Even better, this snowball effect can last for hours, long after you have stopped deliberately focusing on positive thoughts. For this reason, deliberately feeding your mind with positive material from books and films can have a powerful calming effect on fear. Some of the best sources of inspiration and wisdom are works of inspiring literature, empowering non-fiction books, and films that deliver messages about courage, strength, and joy. Reader contributions. I don't read or listen to the news if I can help it, and I don't watch television shows that are full of angst and fear. I only watch feel-good movies. Deb Page. Through the emails I received from Supermind Evolution System, I have read a lot of great articles in self-development. I practiced some of the techniques shared. It has helped me in changing my beliefs and finding the light, thus, removing all my fears. Roberto Carandang. Not only can you absorb positive thoughts by reading the books and watching the films, you can take it a step further and jot down a few insights about them in a blank journal and explore how they might apply in your own life. And of course, every week as a subscriber of Evolution Design you'll get free inspirational and educational art, articles, downloads, videos, audios, poetry, comedy, music, games and more. Click here to subscribe for free. Page 45. Transformation Till #20 Turning Fear into Gratitude. Gratitude is a fantastic way to not only ease turbulent emotions like fear, but it can actually help you to better appreciate your life as it is right now, problems and all, as well as continuously keep attracting better experiences. There are endless ways to use gratitude, but here are a few that should be useful relating to fear, Focus on something you appreciate. When locked into a fearful state of mind, you automatically focus on the bad things that are either happening now or could happen in the near future. As we covered in an earlier section of this guide, those fearful thoughts have a way of snowballing out of control in no time at all. You can reverse this process by instead focusing on something you can feel genuine appreciation for. This might be a cherished figurine your mother gave you, a favorite chair in your living room, or a love letter from your spouse. Spend a few minutes looking at this object, and feel grateful that you have it. Think about the reasons why you like it, or love it, so much, and let those happy feelings flow through you for several minutes. If there are no objects you can appreciate nearby, try taking a slow walk outside and appreciate the trees, flowers, animals and people you see. Focus on something positive about them, and soon you will find other positive qualities coming to your attention. Focus on someone you love. You can also do this with people, or pets, that you care for. Simply call them to mind and think about how much you love them, how much you love spending time with them, and the many ways they add joy and happiness to your life. The person or animal does not have to be living either. You can look at old photos of your grandparents, your first pet, or childhood friends and relive happy memories you shared with them. Focus on the positive side of your problems. Gratitude can also be a powerful pathway to seeing your problems and challenges in a new light. Rather than focusing on the bad aspects and feeling fearful about them, shift your focus and try to find one or more positive aspects. For example, a frightening diagnosis may seem overwhelmingly bad, but you could affirm the fact that you are being given a new chance to take better care of your body, or that overcoming the illness will help you and your loved ones to become stronger and closer. Give thanks for the lessons and opportunities that are always hidden in every challenge. Here is a simple script to help you shift into an attitude of gratitude. Another simple way to release stress. Now page 46. Transformation tool #21 Diffusing fear through journaling. We've explored various types of writing that will help you to transform your fear, but there is yet another one, journaling. You may be familiar with the concept of keeping a diary, but journaling is slightly different. A diary is often used to record your life events, but a journal is more about your feelings regarding those events, especially the negative feelings like fear, anger, grief, and so on. There are many different ways to journal, and we will explore some of them below. However, as with most of the techniques we have covered, there is plenty of room to personalize it to suit your own preferences. Let your creativity lead you as you explore this powerful process. Releasing the past. One of the most transformative methods of journaling is to explore the past events and experiences that left you feeling powerless or frightened and may still be affecting your life today. For example, an incident of childhood sexual abuse may have created a strong fear response that flares up whenever you attempt to form an intimate relationship as an adult. Exploring the pain, guilt, shame, and anger relating to the sexual abuse can help greatly in purging those old emotions and finally starting the healing process. How to do it? Simply grab your journal and a pen and start writing your thoughts about the experiences, how they made you feel when they happened, and how they still affect you now. If the experiences involved another person, like an abuser, you can write letters directly to them to voice your feelings, or you can simply write as if you were telling a story. The most difficult part of this process is that the old pain and fear you felt years ago can suddenly rise to the surface and threaten to overwhelm you again. If this happens, try one or more of the techniques we covered previously to regain control. However, the point is not to avoid feeling your feelings but to process and purge them in healthy, constructive ways. Page 47. Exploring a scary possibility. You can also journal to process fear regarding upcoming events or experiences. Similar to the automatic writing exercise, simply pour out your thoughts and fears about something that has you worried. You can also combine this exercise with Dale Carnegie's method and ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen? Then put your answers in writing. For every answer, come up with the response that would help you to better handle such an outcome. For example, If you are feeling tense about an upcoming visit to your doctor because he might give you a dire prognosis, you can write, "I'm afraid that the doctor will tell me that there is nothing he can do to help me. I fear the thought of living with this illness forever or even losing my life to it." Then focus on possible ways to cope with such a prognosis. Medical technology has come such a long way, there are probably at least a few treatments I could explore. Even if conventional medicine couldn't help, there are alternative treatments that may work, not to mention my own determination to get well. I can handle any outcome to this visit and am going to hold strong to my faith and trust that all will be well. Exploring inner blockages. Another great application for journaling is exploring the inner blockages to living the life of your dreams. Start by writing a brief description or bulletin list of the type of life you wish you could have. For example, I would like to earn $150,000 per year. I would love to own my own home. I would love to find my soulmate. I would love to travel once or twice a year. I would love to start a family within the next few years. Then examine each of these aspirations closely and ask yourself what may be holding you back from achieving them. Devote one or more pages to each item and write about the inner and outer factors that stand between you and the things you want. Examples: I don't believe I can earn such a big salary because I don't feel talented enough to reach that level of success. Even if I did, it would probably be hard to maintain. I'd probably have to work long hours and sacrifice my social life, which I'm not willing to do. Page 48. I would love to own my own home, but my credit isn't great, so it's probably not possible for me at this time. Even if I could improve my credit score, I already have substantial debt that I would need to pay down to handle a mortgage payment. As you explore the blockages your writing reveals, you should notice something very interesting. Most often your blockages are nothing more than limiting beliefs. For example, the salary situation described above. Is it really true that anyone who earns $150,000 or more yearly has no social life and works extra hard? Of course not. That is a limiting belief, and a common one, at that, and can be changed. Becoming aware of these limiting beliefs is just the first step in the process. Then you need to focus on transforming them into more empowering beliefs, which can be done with the use of affirmations, visualization and other tools. Page 49. Transformation Tool #22 Subconscious Programming for Automatic Fear Removal. A. Conditioned responses. When I accompanied my dog, Colby, to training classes, the first thing we were taught was to associate a clicker with a treat. I would press my thumb on the clicker, it would create a clicking sound, and I would give Colby a piece of turkey. It wasn't long before the sound of the clicker got his attention. Then I learned to practice saying his name, hitting the clicker, and giving the treat. Within minutes he learned to associate hearing his name with something good. After that it was only a matter of practice before we had him doing any number of things. See here for an example. If you have a dog at home and you spend some time watching, you will notice that much of his day-to-day activity is a result of these conditioned responses, whether programmed into him purposely or not. Pick up the leash and watch the happy dance, head towards the food bag and see him salivate. And give him the look and watch his eyes go down as he recognizes, by your action, that he has done something wrong. Dogs aren't the only ones who react to the world using a series of conditioned responses. Though mostly by accident and for the most part unconscious, the way we humans react to the world around us is dictated in a large part by a series of conditioned responses we have been learning since early childhood. The love and warmth you feel inside when you smell cookies baking is a result of what you learned in Grandma's kitchen. The tightness in your gut and shoulders before watching your team's football match learned from your coach or your father as a child. Conditioned responses are instilled either gently, with repetition over time, or as a result of one traumatic experience. And the traumatic experience doesn't necessarily have to be real. Sometimes a really scary movie can instill a fear of the dark in someone, just as being attacked one time as you walk down a dark street can. The great news is that once you have a general understanding of the conditioned response, it becomes possible to consciously condition new ones. And you can condition these responses with a trigger that you can set off whenever you want to elicit the response. Page 50. With the dog we use the clicker as a trigger. Every time he hears the clicker he becomes focused and pleased with himself. After a short time just hearing the clicker makes him a happy dog. Even if he doesn't receive the turkey, his body responds as if it has. For us humans, I suppose we can use a clicker as a trigger if we want, but it's not necessary. A certain touch would work, as would a word or even a smell. Whatever it is, it shouldn't be something that you experience often. In the Braveheart program we use a specific finger placement along with the pleasant self-created sound. Once the trigger is chosen, you can then program it to set off a specific response. Let's say you want to feel confident on command, useful as you head into that job interview. For this example you want the trigger to be something casual that you can set off in front of others, so it becomes your thumb pressing briefly into the inside of your elbow. Then, whenever you are feeling confident, you press down on the trigger point. This essentially programs the feeling of confidence into the action of the trigger. Once programmed, it then just becomes a matter of setting it off whenever you are looking to feel more confident. Don't want to wait until you are feeling confident to program the trigger? There are a number of techniques you can use to create any number of feeling states. And the feel-good trigger, a combination of brainwave entrainment and visualization techniques, are used to generate a positive feeling state, which is then programmed into the trigger. In this audio in the Braveheart system we continue the use of sophisticated way technology to further train your brain to produce better brain and body chemicals on a regular basis. In addition to the way technology you will be guided through a proven process that installs a feel-good trigger that you can use anytime you wish to reduce fear and anxiety while promoting a balanced and peaceful mindset. Page 51. B. Hypnosis. Hypnotherapy is an application of hypnosis for therapeutic benefits. It can be used in areas such as medicine, sport, and for development of a person's well-being. It is no surprise to discover the diversity of problems from which people suffer. Two people with the same problem can easily have different reasons for creating that problem, and different motivations for giving it up. We've found that by far the best approach is to treat everyone as individuals. The reason we say that people create their problem is because the only world that really exists is the one we create within our own minds. However, since we are creatures of habit, and regularly hardwire our nervous system to perform specific acts, emotions and behaviors, it becomes easier to understand how people believe that the problem is not only outside of them, but outside of their control. When patients come for a hypnotherapy consultation, it is always helpful to explain to them the way in which the brain takes in, filters and represents information to consistently produce specific states. An underpinning knowledge of the NLP communication model is particularly helpful for explaining this process within the mind. Hypnosis enables your mind to focus concentration, producing a state of deep relaxation. Throughout this process, your mind is more open to suggestion, allowing you to make changes in your perception and behavior, for the benefit of your health. Using your imagination is a mild form of self-hypnosis. This tells us that trance is a perfectly natural and normal phenomenon. During hypnotherapy, the trance is aided by your focus on the hypnotherapist's voice. When you focus in this way, you are able to ignore, if you want to, the great deal of other distractions that may be around you. Whilst in hypnosis you are neither fully awake nor fully asleep. However deeply you may go into hypnosis, you will remain in control of the situation and will continue to receive important sensory data. For more information visit http://www.freefromfear.com/ People just released as part of the Braveheart system is the special hypnosis audio called Accepting Happiness by Gemma Bailey. Accepting happiness is a hypnotic route to reprogramming your mind into noticing more of what there is for you to already be happy about in your life. In accepting the happiness you already have, you are working universal law, Like attracts like, and therefore you are sending out a clear signal to both your mind and environment that you want and are ready to receive even more happiness. You get more of what you focus on, so in focusing on happiness, you instantly draw more happiness to you. Gemma has kindly made the following hypnosis script available to all readers. Page 52. Metaphor for ignoring phobias. There once was a keen gardener who tended to a beautiful rose garden not too far from here. He grew the most beautiful romantic roses you could ever imagine. Every color of the rainbow, strung with petals as soft as luxury velvet and a strong, sweet perfumed aroma that would overwhelm you as you walked past the garden. The roses were precious, like memories. They had been planted for significant times or events. Each one had a different story, some happy, some sad, some for those he had loved, some for those he had lost. And he came to the garden every day to take care of these memories, which gave him a sense of peace and love, as well as being the one place in the world where he could come to relax and escape from the challenging and demanding world. One day, the diligent gardener was trimming the dead flower from one of his most beautifully colored rose bushes. You know the color I mean, and as he did so, a thorn broke from the plant and entered his thumb. The man swore and cursed, and although the wound was bleeding he was unable to remove the thorn from inside his thumb. He went home that night and bathed his thumb in warm water and bicarbonate of soda, but still the thorn would not budge. Eventually his wife told him to leave it. She said, "Your body is an intelligent organism. It will always expel the things it no longer requires, and you do not need to worry about it doing that. Just relax and let it do its job. It has been doing this so many years that I'm sure it has a better idea about what to do than you do." So the gardener went to bed that night with the thorn from the rose still lodged in his thumb. In the morning when the gardener had awoke, for a few moments he had forgotten about his thumb. Then, when he checked it, he found that the thorn was no longer there. His body had expelled it, and with good reason, and it was resting, clean in the corner of his bed. Well, you would think that to be the end of the story, but in fact it is not. The gardener went back to work that morning to continue tending to the gardens as normal. Except he found himself to be extremely cautious of the thorns, which for so long had not been a bother to him. He was so anxious in fact that not only was he seeing thorns all over the place, he began to count them, and certain that he could no longer abide them he removed them all. He worked so frenziedly, he didn't notice the sun shining, or the beautiful smell of the flowers, or the colors, or even when the sky clouded and began to rain. That night he went home shattered and exhausted, but certain that he had removed all the thorns from each plant. When his wife looked at him she inquired as to what the matter was, and when he told her she simply said, "This obsession will not do your health any good." The next day, which I think was a Thursday, the gardener returned to work, horrified to discover that every rose bush and plant had begun to regrow its thorns. At a loss, the gardener made a conscious decision to ignore the thorns. He said to himself, "Don't look at the thorns, don't touch the thorns, I will not get cut or scratched by these thorns." Page 53. Yet despite his thoughts and efforts the gardener became even more cut and scratched than he had ever been in all of his working life. As he sat down in despair looking down at his hands and how bad they appeared to look, a magician who had been watching the gardener for some time came to offer some advice. The gardener told the magician all about the thorns and how he just couldn't seem to get rid of the problem because the thorns kept on growing, and how when he'd said to himself in his head, "Don't look at the thorns, don't touch the thorns, I will not get cut or scratched by the thorns," that he had become more cut and scratched than ever before. So the magician explained that in life you get more of what you focus on, and the gardener said, "I wasn't focusing on the thorns, I was telling myself not to." So the magician explained, "Don't look at the thorns, presuppose that there are thorns and that you can see them and touch them. I will not get cut or scratched by the thorns, presuppose that not only are there thorns, but they have the ability to cut and scratch you." So what is the solution? The solution is to focus on what you do want more of. Have you noticed the scent of the flowers today, or the new bud over there just opening, or the cool breeze, or the sound of the children playing? The gardener had not noticed any of these things. He said no, I've been too busy thinking about, and at that point the magician cast a spell. He didn't magic away all of the thorns, he didn't make them invisible either. The problem was still there, an actual problem, there for a good reason. What the magician did was quite simply to make the gardener focus only on the most beautiful elements of the roses, the smells, the colors, the feel of the velvety petals. And what happened is the focus became the reality, and the problems that were no longer focused on, were no longer there. So although the gardener couldn't make the thorns go away, he learned not to focus on them and focus instead on all of the good and wonderful things. His beliefs became his reality, so now there is no pain and only love and roses. Page, established in 2006, People Building is an NLP and hypnotherapy resource center and training company. Their hypnosis scripts and audios are written by leading hypnotherapist Gemma Bailey, who is a published author on the subject of hypnosis. To sample their free hypnotherapy scripts and hypnosis MP3s, click here. Hopefully, as we have explored these great tools for transforming fear, you have realized that you truly have nothing to fear but fear itself. Page 54. Even though it does tend to blossom when no real threat exists, you can learn to manage it easily by working with the techniques we have shared with you today. However, if you're interested in an easier way to release your fear, check out the new Brave Heart system. We've incorporated many of the techniques in this ebook, including hypnosis, meditation, brainwave entrainment, sound medicine, conditioned responses, sacred geometry, energy healing and NLP, into a series of transformational audios and video in the Brave Heart system, currently included as a free bonus in the Best Mind Power offer. Click here for more details. Page 55. The Brave Heart system, using advanced brainwave entrainment, NLP, sound medicine, dream programming, conditioned responses, hypnosis, energy healing, affirmations, sacred geometry and meditation. These powerful audios, with comprehensive guide, will help you 1. Produce more feel-good chemicals into your brain naturally so you can become calm, happy and balanced in your life. On demand. 2. Block unwanted thoughts and behavior patterns so you can enjoy a greater sense of peace, well-being, and security. 3. Use feel-good triggers to instantly improve your emotional state, almost anywhere and anytime, so you can overcome the most challenging situations and phobias, easily and quickly. 4. Retune your internal electromagnetic environment to an alternative energy frequency, one that is based in love rather than fear. 5. Create an energy shield, a flexible, protective force that allows you to remain in a space filled with fear and negativity without being affected by it. 6. Boost your immune system, sleep better, feel happier and much more. Live life as Braveheart and it can help you boost your immune system and dramatically reduce the risk of stress-related diseases, which is 95% of all diseases according to a recent Stanford University study. Become more motivated and dedicated to living the life you truly desire. Make positive changes in your thinking and living. With much less resistance, break destructive habits and behavior more effectively. Overcome phobias. Become more open to the abundance of opportunities around you. Discover more creativity and inspiration. Become more intuitive and aware. Find inner peace and happiness. Company. Create a less fearful collective consciousness which benefits all of humanity. Click here for more details of the Brave Heart system. For a limited time, get over $2,000 worth of extra bonuses and the complete Supermind Evolution system for one low price. Page 56. Thank you once again to all the Evolution readers who helped make this ebook a reality. And a special thanks to the following people who have contributed to this ebook and the Brave Heart system. Check out many of their free gifts available to you. First, from us, subscribe to Evolution Design for free and get hundreds of free gifts including inspirational wallpapers, empowering ebooks, meditation and mind power audios. Plus, Mind Power research team makes world-first discoveries. They discovered how to attract luck, how to cure their mind and body while sleeping by pre-programming their dreams, how to attract new partners with their minds. They even found out ways of beating the casinos. Plus much more. Page Mind Surge, The Consciousness Revolution, value $29.95. Get it today and discover what forces required change your psychic reality into a physical reality, plus the complete dream programming technique revealed for free for the very first time. How to improve your life while sleeping, how you can heal people across the world with the power of your mind, and remote influencing. Comes with a remote influencing exercise you can try. How matter and antimatter create our physical world, an E-Prime exercise to increase your brain power, what the dream world is made of, and how it is possible to have shared dreams while our body appears to age, and much more. Page 57. Jeff Gignac. Jeff is a clinical hypnotherapist and licensed master practitioner of NLP, and an expert in goal achievement. Jeff is also the co-founder of ART, Adaptive Response Technologies, creator and innovator of numerous advanced brainwave entrainment technologies that continue to revolutionize the field of personal development. Jeff is giving away to readers a Deep Sync MP3. This audio will help you eliminate stress as this special technology guides you into a blissful state of relaxation. Click here to access. Joel Bruce Wallach. Joel Bruce Wallach helps you express your multidimensional gifts by releasing and transmuting hidden trauma, subconscious negative patterns, and past life imprints. http://www.soulhealingnow.com/private-sessions.html. Joel's healing music helps you hold a safe sacred space for healing, meditation, creativity. http://www.bubby.com/all/Joel Bruce Wallach. You can hold the energy of balance literally in the palms of your hands. Explore Joel's subtle energy tools. http://www.artofplacement.com/fengshui/fengshuitogo.htm. Brad Yates. Brad likes to think of himself as an evolution catalyst. He feels blessed to be known internationally for his creative and often humorous use of emotional freedom techniques. Registered deft. He was trained and certified at the respected Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Tharzana, Ka, where he served on staff. Combining this background with training in energy psychology and various schools of thought in the area of personal growth and achievement, he coaches groups and individuals in achieving greater success, health and happiness in their lives. For more about Brad's popular program Money Beyond Belief, click here. Alan Tutt, contributor of the 9-Minute Happiness Booster, audio in the Free from Fear package, is a prolific author and speaker. With over 25 years of experience in the fields of self-development, mind power, and law of attraction, he has created several well-known systems, including the Keys to Power Mastery System, the Keys to Power Persuasion System, and the Choose to Believe system. Click here to find all of these and more at his central website. Page 58. Alad, LifeQuest International, LLC and Alad, the Distress Expert, support people with innovative and effective products to get rid of stressful barriers to living a free, productive, peace-filled life. We create inspirational, informational, fun programs and products for individuals and groups that inspire and empower people to optimize health, productivity and prosperity in their lives using dynamic experiential tools and techniques that address real-life stress issues at home and work. For free access to Alad's Instant Stress Busters gift pack, click here. Kevin Soeninger, are you ready to discover the benefits of meditation for yourself? In the next few minutes, I'll show you a simple meditation technique you can use to instantly release any unwanted thought, feeling or belief. If your health and well-being are important to you, click here to get started now. Gemma Bailey, People Building is an NLP and hypnotherapy training company specializing in self-development for adults and children. Our resourceful website, www.peoplebuilding.co.uk, is filled with information to help you improve your mind power, feel good on a consistent basis, overcome challenges and generally feel comfortable in your own skin. Every 2 weeks People Building publish a newsletter which contains an article and amongst other things the latest news from the world of hypnosis and NLP. We also publish a fortnightly video podcast and the International People Building Podcast, http://www.peoplebuilding.mypodcast.com/ or find us on iTunes, attracted over 100,000 in its opening year. For more information on people building or to achieve an accredited qualification in NLP or hypnosis, please visit www.peoplebuilding.co.uk. The Sedona Method, transforming minds, transforming lives worldwide through the Sedona Method and the holistic releasing process. Our mission is to support you in alleviating your physical and emotional suffering and liberating your natural inner freedom to have, be and do whatever your heart desires. We support individuals and organizations in achieving balance, success, wellness, strength, effectiveness, happiness and well-being. Click here for receive a free introductory CD. Page 59. Crystalia Marie, amazing breakthrough, who knew cold and flu prevention could be so easy, gentle and effective. Now, you can let go of your fears about contracting flu viruses. The secret to cold and flu prevention just might be easier than you realize. Your immune system is not only physical, it is also an energy system that responds to energetic entrainment. My clients and I have prevented serious illnesses by using this proven